a hot take for anybody watching.
If you're feeling uncomfortable, imagine how often and how regularly the person you're trying to stand up for feels that way, and they don't even say anything to initiate it. They just are, and someone's attacking them for who they are without even being provoked.
Welcome to Invite Sent. We are a live streaming show where we interview people and play video games.
Help is on the way, dear.
Did he make it in? Did he get all 20? Yes, way to go. If you'd like to be on Invite Sent, be interviewed, and play video games, please go to bubbagatter.com and request to be on the show. And I'll let you know if the invite is sent. Yeah, get him.
There you go.
Welcome to Invite Sent. Boom! It's an issue with our industry for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Bubba, being in the fighting game community is a hot take for anybody watching.
If you're feeling uncomfortable, imagine how often and how regularly the person you're trying to stand up for feels that way, and they don't even say anything to initiate it. They just are, and someone's attacking them for who they are without even being provoked.
Welcome to Invite Sent. We are a live streaming show where we interview people and play video games.
Help is on the way, dear.
Did he make it in? Did he get all 20? Yes, way to go. If you'd like to be on Invite Sent, be interviewed, and play video games, please go to bubbagatter.com and request to be on the show. And I'll let you know if the invite is sent. Yeah, get him.
There you go.
Welcome to Invite Sent. Okay, let's go. Welcome. Hello. Welcome to Invite Sent. Thank you so much for being here today. It is Friday. It is March 1st. Yesterday, I was telling my kids that, look, this day only comes around every 4 years. It was leap year. You have an extra day, and I was my dad. I was my dad yesterday morning, and I was up early, getting my kids up before their normal time to get up for school. Let's not waste the day. We got an extra day. I totally am my dad. I'm sure my mom will be here on the stream later like she was last week, and we'll talk about all sorts of fun stuff. But hey, that was yesterday. We had an extra day. If you didn't know, it was an extra day on February 29th. But today, March 1st, we're going to play a little bit of video games, some Rocket League today. I'm going to invite our guest here in just a moment. And if you've been around this last few weeks, we've interviewed some amazing people. We had Dr. Rachel Cohort from the Zeitgeist, who is a psychologist in the gaming space. Next week, we're actually going to have Renee Geddens she used to be the executive director of the International Game Developers Association, and now she has created a video game. We're actually going to play her game live on stream, and she's going to walk me through it. It's called Potions, A Curious Tale. And we'll also have Zach Teep next Friday. We're going to get rolling into this interview and have some fun. I'm going to bring in my guest, and we're going to play a little Rocket League. And as he jumps in here, JD, how are you, sir? Welcome to the show.
Man, I am fantastic. I'm excited about this. We get to play one of my favorite games of all time, Rocket League. Yeah, I'm probably in the very vast minority of people that would put Rocket League in their favorite game to play. But I'm here for it. Yeah.
No, I think the more you hang out in college esports space, like I have over the past few years, you see a lot, and especially all my friends who are COD players or are in worship or stuff at church, they're Rocket League players. And I just noticed your hoodie. That's pretty dope. And is that Pikachu on there?
So yeah, this is actually the latest 100 Thieves drop that they just did like a week or so ago. Yeah. I went there to the actual drop at their location out in Southern California. Yeah, and this is actually also painted on the side of the 100 Thieves compound. So they did a whole Pokemon drop. Yeah, it was great. And so I was one of the few people who were able to get this hoodie. So yeah, I figured what better time to show the world that it exists than right now.
I love that, man. What's funny is I think about I invited you to a group, by the way, a party. Let me try.
Oh yeah, once you give it another shot, I had to do a restart.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So the thing that interests me about esports is this esports winter that we've talked about a lot, and I know you've hung out with Danny Martin as well, and I took his class last year. Kind of esports and law class. Well, actually, it was with Chris Turner, and Danny Martin was in it, and I learned the phrase esports winter, and a lot of it made me think a lot about the pro esport teams and how whenever you go to these pro esports teams, the front page is swag and merch, and that's where they make a lot of their money. And seeing 100 Thieves with some partnership, what's the terminology when you did Louis Vuitton and stuff?
Yeah, partnership with Nintendo in this case.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love that. So, are you a Pokemon fan?
Oh yeah,
okay,
100% OG. Yeah, so OG Pokemon fan. I had a Pokemon Red with the Nintendo Red. So I had the Pokemon Red Nintendo Red combo. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, wow.
And now my kids are watching the new generation of Pokemon, and they're involved. So yeah, it's like I love how they've been able to do it. And like I remember we were in the room cheering as Ash, became the Pokemon master, and it was a great moment for both of us, for all of us, should I say?
That's dope.
Me and the kids. It was fantastic. Yeah, and then I remember the Pokemon Go craze. I hopped on that.
I did too.
I was on the Pokemon Go craze, like heavy.
I lost like 15 pounds that month.
Man, listen, Niantic kind of fumbled the bag there, man. It was a movement, man. It was a movement, man. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. And I was of course I decided to be, I forget what the yellow. I decided to be the yellow. Of course,
the
that
Eevee?
was my own fault. Whatever the yellow team was.
Oh yeah, I honestly don't remember. Yellow or
it was like yellow,
blue, and red,
blue, yeah. And they all had their own like team name or whatever it was.
All right, you got to carry me. So as we get, I honestly forgot my controls. I already forgot my controls I played this last week. So, let's start out here. What was the first video game you ever played growing up?
First video game I think at least from a recollection standpoint, like I feel like it has to be like the OG Mario, right? Oh gosh, I just blew that.
I tried to get that as a boost. Dang it.
No, that was my bad.
I had an easy shot.
Yeah, OG Mario, I think it's like maybe it wasn't the first exact game that I played, but it was the first game that I can like remember being like, like, oh, I'm playing this game. I'm obsessed with this.
Okay, so were you Sega and Nintendo, PlayStation?
Yeah, so it was mostly Nintendo. So we had the Atari, right? I do remember we had an Atari system, but again, I don't remember what's going on Atari.
You're a millennial, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 84, baby.
Oh,
and I'm getting some, yeah. So,
oh,
and
we're
getting
you're gonna have to carry me, bro.
It's all good. If I can, if my internet can stay afloat, we should be good.
Here we go.
There you go. There it is.
Oh, I missed.
Okay, you're gonna get a lot of those opportunities. Don't worry.
Okay, sweet.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
So I had one of my friends had Sega, so like I got to play. I remember playing like the original Madden when that came out. Right. I remember like Madden football and that being a thing
with John Madden on the cover, like with his white polo shirt.
Yep. Boom. So I remember
That's
that.
right.
And then I remember when because I went from Nintendo to Super Nintendo, so I remember when they brought out I forget what year it was or what it was, but when they brought out the Madden on Super Nintendo. I thought that was fly. And then for the longest time, I think I was probably near exclusively a sports game a sports game player, mostly like Madden football. Yeah. And then there was Halo.
And then there was Halo. Halo took over.
Halo.
I'm 41. I graduated high school in 2000. So Halo for me, 03. So yeah, Halo in college. Basically, my roommate and I would fight about the constant like, there's no way you stuck that bomb to me, bro. There's no way.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm pretty sure I put a hole in the wall in our apartment in college.
Oh my gosh. So I didn't get into Halo until the 360 came around, like with Halo 3. So like I went over to PlayStation for a little while, kind of like the PS2. I did the PS2 thing for a while. Nah, sir.
Nice.
And then
Bush 1G. I don't know if you know these people. Bush 1G says what's up. He's on Twitch.
What's up, Bush 1G?
Rugged Nerd. Hello. What's up, James? Okay. They come here for
folks?
Rocket League.
Let's go. Shout out to the Rock. Listen, sorry we're disappointing you guys. This is a warm-up game. It's like just like the problem. As the conversation gets better, I promise you the game.
There's gonna be a lot of warm-up games for me. Oh, I'm gonna get this shot. Come on. No. Yeah. So the Xbox 360.
Yeah, Xbox 360 was like, I think, like when we think about like where we are with esports and like competitive gaming, it was the Xbox 360 that did it for me. Obviously with Halo 3, but then Gears of War was my gizang.
Nice. Oh yeah, Gears of War.
Oh, big time. Gears of War is when I fell in love with like online gaming and competitive gaming, and I got to the place where we were doing like, you know, the online gaming as far as like with MLG and all of that. Me and my squad going down, you know, doing the MLG in the early days of just like, you know, meet me on the schoolyard and we just gonna do this. Let's get that. There you go. So we got plenty of time. Plenty of time.
2 minutes. Yeah, it's only 2-4.
Is this casual or
this is casual? It's casual. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Don't worry. We're good. We're good.
So Amon Green, I don't know if you've spoken with him or hung out with him before.
I have not.
Okay, he is definitely a Gears of War fan. He has like the big gun with the chainsaw or whatever it is, the saw in the front in like his. Ooh, yes, in his
the Lancer.
Yeah, the Lancer. Like he's got a makeup of it from in his background. Okay, I'm ready.
You ready? Here you go.
Oh, I missed.
Too late. That was bad. I put too much sauce on it, man. I put a little bit too much sauce on that one.
We need a little taparoo. Taparoo.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. This is great.
Okay, there we go. Yeah.
So I started doing the Gears of War thing. There you go. No, that's perfect. That's what you're supposed to do.
Nice.
That's what you're supposed to do. We're on the same team, man. We trying to get this dub. I told you, defense, and defense and assist, man. If I should show you. I might show you this. My what is it? My actual like assist. I should have went on that. That's my bad. My assist to center ratio. It's criminal.
Okay.
Like the amount of times I will center a shot versus the amount of actual assists that I have, it's ridiculous. It's a shame, really. But that's Rocket League, baby.
Yeah. So I want to go early in your career here. You I was looking through a lot of your media stuff, and over the years you have a lot of online presence over the years in different ways.
Yes.
And I noticed this your first video on YouTube was your one man band reporter.
Yes,
is the terminology. And
literally the very first video that I put on YouTube.
Yes.
Oh my God.
You're like a young baby. Stick of a person.
Oh my gosh. Well, the good old days, baby. Back when journalism was still like a respectable you know, like back when like being a journalist is still like a respectable thing in the community, right? Man. That was back at a network called KATC in Lafayette, Louisiana. It was a small market 137, and we still have a chance at winning this. By the way, don't sleep. Oh, I blew it. We had it.
Out the wall. I'll get it.
Oh,
nice.
Hey!
Let's go.
So it was a small market, and that particular station is actually where I got my start. So I used to be a floor camera operator for the very same station. Yeah, making like $6 an hour, a little more than $6 an hour for 20 hours a week. But I was like, I was in, man. Like I was in. So I wound up working my way. I wound up working my way to being, in that space, mostly because they were like, yo, kid, like, you know how to shoot, you know how to edit. And as long as you smile when we toss to you, like, I think you'll be okay. Like, you know how to talk well. Like, just keep smiling and you'll be okay.
Oh. 2-second win. We got this.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I can keep it in the air very long.
Oh, pass it right to him. Yeah, man.
I didn't stay back.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So, that sort of gave me an opportunity, because I was in journalism. I had done some journalism, but like, I was like, by the time I had done so much other things, like prior to getting this job, I was producing a college sports in Lafayette, Louisiana, like a local sports show, doing a bunch of different things. And so by this time, this was like my first real job, and the news director was the 10 p.m. producer that kind of like gave me my start of like doing some breaking news videography, like outside of just doing like the floor camera operating stuff, right?
Okay, right.
Built completely on relationships. She's like, listen, we have this thing, we're introducing this new concept called a multimedia journalist. You're gonna have to like shoot right, you're gonna have to like do everything, and we're gonna pay you less than the traditional journalist. You wanna do it? I'm like, hey, sign me up. So I wound up doing that, and listen, there was a lot of opportunity that I wind up getting from that.
Sure.
But that sort of ran its course, and then I started doing some other things. I got back into the New Orleans scene, kind of coming from Lafayette, Louisiana, back in my hometown of New Orleans. And at that point, I joined an organization that's called 2 Cent TV.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if you saw any of that stuff online.
A little bit.
But basically, what we did was, what I particularly did on the in front of the camera side was basically dress up like Drake, and we would do like Christmas videos. You know what I'm saying? It was like a whole thing. And but behind the scenes, what we were doing is like getting into the infotainment space of like, once a year we'll do something entertaining, but for the most part, what that organization does is focus on how do we use entertainment
to
let me see if I can get up and get that in. How do we use entertainment to reach kids? And this is in like 2009, 2010. We understand that kids don't want to read, like they're not interested in learning, but they're interested in being entertained. So how do we wrap the information inside of the entertainment? Yeah. And so many of the things that we would wind up doing, like we held a whole festival, because like New Orleans is big on festivals. We held a whole like literacy festival. I remember we gave a kid a bike just for reading a book on stage, right, in front of people, because we wanted to encourage literacy, because it was really more like we got some information about the school to prison pipeline before it was like called that. We understood what it was, and we had the data in front of us to kind of show what they were doing, like building prison numbers based on how literacy rates. Nice. And so we were like, well, if we want to, we can scream until we're blue in the face about stopping crime and the prison systems and all of that. But if we're not going to do something directly to try to curtail this from a different way, from a different approach, and at least with the tools that we have at our hands, which was like YouTube at the time, a Canon 7D and YouTube, man. Like we right, by those standards, we were Scorsese. We were able to do those things, and doing that, then really, we went viral on the internet. We had 2 years back to back getting 1 million views, right? And then we took those back on World Star YouTube. It was crazy. Like Chris Brown retweeted it. It was the wildest thing. Like, so we learned very early, and this is 2009, 2010, like the power of virality, right? And the power of platform. And for me, it was like, okay, well, we're kind of doing this as like a group of people, and we're just kind of having fun and doing the grassroots thing. I wanted to take what I was doing to the next level. and try my hand at something bigger and sustainable. And that sort of what led me to literally taking a one-way plane ticket on New Year's Eve, 2011, to Los Angeles, to just sort of being like, yo, I think I can make it in that town.
That's amazing. Okay. Now there's a lot of stuff you did with athletes. I noticed you got dunked on by Luke Walton, Bill Walton's son. Ooh, get in the goal.
Yeah.
And this
James Worthy and yeah.
So what?
So that all came from my relationship because my first job, my very first job when I moved to Los Angeles was working for TMZ.
Really?
And yeah. And listen, I'll say this, what I learned in my very short stint there working at TMZ was just like, they understood how to get information out, and also learning like the game, like this whole game about like media and publishers and like, how do they get stories and all of that kind of stuff. Very valuable information as far as technique is concerned. Now their content, I don't agree with, right? Obviously, they're very hard. There's a bunch of hardworking people. You can't do what they do without working your butt off. And so, I think, that's see that right there? My second job, I was just like, well, I can't do this because, I want a soul. So my second job was working for a small little production house where I was doing I didn't realize what I was doing, but I was the assistant editor on a clip reel for a show called Toddlers and Tiaras. Now, what I didn't realize, So what I didn't realize though is that some of the clips that they had me gathering was about this one little girl and her antics. And the clips that I was gathering, they wind up using those to create that show, Here Comes Honey Boo. So I was like, I'm like, right now I'm like 0 for 2 in trying to like do something positive with my life out in Los Angeles. And I wind up getting an opportunity to be a production assistant at the at then Time Warner Cable Sportsnet. Wow. Which was the Lakers so close. Which was the Lakers basketball network.
Okay, right.
Lakers, Dodgers. Well, it wasn't the Dodgers yet. We would get the Dodgers later. But yeah, in that role, as a production assistant and then a content associate, that was the first time that I like got that title, as well as like working at that. It's just like the idea of like, I'm going to be a content producer, and like what that means is like I'm not just being told what to do, but like I have to like come up with ideas as well for the show, right? And so like little micro bits that we would have for like our little social media based show called Lake Show, just coming up with little micro bits and micro segments. That was kind of like one of the things that I wound up getting myself getting myself involved in. And so when the dunk cam became very popular, it was like a thing. It was like a viral moment on the internet. That was like my first opportunity to say, hey, like let's reverse engineer this process. Usually, like we would get the we trying to play these cats again, or we want to back out and find whatever. Either way, so I wanted to start to bring like, hey, instead of just creating content on TV and then that ends up on and that winds up ending up on the internet like we typically do with these things. Let's create content from the internet on TV, right? And it wound up being the guys loved it.
That's a hot thing, right? That you created.
Yeah, it was like a hot little moment.
Yeah.
Right. And so like I understood like kind of like when we think about it, really what I did was it's like typically what we would think about trending videos today on social media in regards to like reels and whatever, like, okay, here's this like trending thing that we're all doing and we're all just going to do the thing. Right. So that sort of was like my first like beginning to understand how we create content and not just like, we making videos. Ooh, and so the dunk cam was widely successful. They loved it every time. Crazy. like every time Luke Walton wind up being a host on the show, we would wind up doing it because it's like, like it's Luke Walton for crying out loud.
Yeah.
So this kind of gave Luke an opportunity to be like,
Nice.
It's not always about the aerials. Kids, if you're out there watching, sometimes having a controllable ground game is just as effective as a strong aerial game. It's not more effective than time because so much of the defense is, everybody knows how to do aerial defense. Yeah, get on this ground game and see how that goes.
Okay. All right. Learning, yes.
Well, and that's mostly because I couldn't aerial, so I had to develop a strong ground. I had to figure out something to do to develop like a strong enough, like, okay, let me be like, for moments like this, like, let me be respectable enough to where like, I'm not out here. I had to find a game, right? I had to find like a respectable esport. But interestingly enough, it was at Spectrum because, we have so much, like when you're doing sports television, it's a very much a hurry up and wait situation.
Oh yeah, right, sure.
Yeah, we're like we get there at like there at 2 for a game that starts at 7, and so in the show starts at 7, and so you're there at 2. There's a considerable amount of downtime, right? And then like when the shows are on, it's like it's a break. Like we did everything that we needed to do. So we typically had a few moments to just do nothing.
Right, yeah.
And that was right around the time when PUBG Mobile came out, right?
Oh,
and so yeah. So like even while I was at Spectrum and working as an editor, so I wound up getting a few different promotions while I was there. One of which like I got that machine where you see like all of the X's and the lines and like as the guy's like running on a court and like you can see like the trail behind them.
I think this is in
like
real
sports,
life.
like real like in sports, like when you're watching ESPN, and the guys have like the little line behind them that as they're trying to explain the plays.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah, like the play breakdown. So like that's a special machine. That's a special like soft. Oh, that's my bad. That was a double. Yeah, he gone. So I got to do that kind of stuff. I was working as an editor, but like again, downtime.
Oh, cool.
So a bunch of us started playing PUBG Mobile, and that was huge during that whole rise. And then again, downtime. I'm sitting there like streaming is just starting to come alive, and like it's like PUBG and Fortnite, and so like you're watching like the old school days of like Cypher, Courage, and then Ninja and Tim and all those guys like as things like H1N like. It's just kind of starting to hit the scene, and then Fortnite hits, right? Yeah. And then it's just like a fun game to watch people play because it's just hilarious. And I vividly remember watching the stream as Drake comes on with Ninja.
Oh no way!
And I'm I'm like watching it, and I'm like, yo. Yeah. And I knew instantly. In that moment the world changed.
Yes, it did. It did.
Right. Because it was the first time where now gaming is viewed as pop culture. Right. Anime is kind of having that moment right now where it is no longer deemed as counterculture or laziness or whatever it is. To participate in these things, and obviously when you start to mix that with like cash prizes and all of that makes it even more tantalizing. Ooh, that was a nice shot.
Yeah, it was very nice.
What's he doing in here? The same thing we doing in here.
Skill-based matchmaking? No.
Yeah, right. And so during that time, I'm like getting involved with esports and like gaming. I'm asking my buddies who are like kind of a little bit more into the space. I'm like, yo, what's like a decent game to like play that's not a shooter? Because I immediately thought about how this was going to work as far as like with kids and recreation and, especially being, and I'm sure we'll get more to this, being African American and having an understanding of the stigma that comes with gaming. I was like, which one of these games has the potential to be like the college game, to be the high school game? Like which one of these games can we play in a school?
Sure.
And Rocket League was the easy idea. So like even from then, I was like, okay, I gotta get into this game.
Okay. And
that's sort of like how I got introduced like into this space. Again, it was just being at the Lakers network at the time, and it just being, it's sports, like whatever. Nothing else to do. Let's check out guys playing fun video games.
Oh, I missed. So close. Get in there. It's in. Oh my gosh.
I don't think there's a better. See, this is what I was talking about all of those centers and very few assists.
That was beautiful.
It's all good.
That was so good.
I spent a lot of time. So this is the game that I play with my kids too. And so it's kind of like, you try to like. Ooh. Oh, that was nice. You try to like throw the ball to them so they can like hit the ball, put it on the T-ball. I do a lot of that with them. So
okay,
like,
that's cool.
I practice like centering the ball, so like all they got to do is just hit it.
When I play this with my kids,
it's like that the scene in Sandlot. Just go out there and hold your hand up.
When I play this with my kids, they are the ones teeing it up for me. And when I play this on the show, oh my gosh, let's yes, good D. Get that last second goal. Let's go. We'll hit the ground. Just 1 millisecond. Oh,
so close.
Yeah, and usually my kids are teeing me up because right now I'm playing on mouse and keyboard. And I know I am gonna get reamed every time I say that, but I just am. It's easier because my computer is so difficult to hook up my controller with.
Oh really? Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely controller on Xbox controller for this one.
Yeah.
Great game though, man. Rocket League.
Yeah.
I love it. You know what? One of my favorite parts about Rocket League
is
the tolerable amount of toxicity that it's like that's a part of the game. It's kind of like WWE. In a sense, it's like the chat is like your little opportunity to cut a promo sometimes. I think just the right dash of toxicity actually makes Rocket League a little more enjoyable to play.
Yeah, it's funny because at one point, League of Legends had like the top toxicity, like ranking, and there was a ton of research around it. And then somebody the other day was telling me how what game was it? They were saying this some other game is way worse. And I thought, how can it be way worse? It was COD, right, James? And James, thank you for the donation to the foundation, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, COD is definitely in multiplayer for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Some of the most.
Oh, for sure.
I played yesterday, and I haven't played in a long time because all my friends we played during COVID from church. That was the way we could hang out.
Right.
And gosh, playing yesterday. Ooh, nice shot. Ooh.
I could have did a little bit more.
You know, I really just.
It's pretty bad.
Most games I just turn the chat off. Because I don't want to hear them. I don't want to get harassed about how I play, first of all, and I definitely don't want
all the pros who hang out on the multiplayer circuit.
Yeah, right. But at the same time, like this is a conversation I have with a lot of female non-binary people about the idea of turning off the debate is if games are so bad and you don't want to hear them say anything to you, just turn off your voice chat. Well, that's not going to fix the problem. It's just gonna put a Band-Aid over it. So I guess talking about toxicity and gaming, let's dive into if we dive into what you do right now with your org, as well as let's talk about how and just because you're African American guest, let's like when there's a female guest, let's talk about female toxicity.
For sure.
But I think why not? Nice the flip reset. Why not talk to someone who lives it and is an expert in it rather than have another white guy on here and talk about this stuff. So, when you're doing what you do with students and kids. What are you doing first? And then let's talk about is there any training or etiquette about gameplay or toxicity? Oh, nice.
Yeah, so, I think where we're at with our kids specifically, what we want to, I think for us, our biggest thing is creating safe spaces, right? And safe spaces look different for everybody.
Okay.
And we want to be cognizant about what that looks like for everyone, right? And so, like, for some, a safe space may be literally somewhere that is safe for them physically, mentally, and emotionally to play Grand Theft Auto. You know, like that might be the baseline for us, because it's like, here's a kid who otherwise may not get a meal, who otherwise may be in a legitimate dangerous situation in regards to their living situation. If we can create a space where this young person can come and feel comfortable, and then at some point in time open up to us. I'm getting some bad laggy really quick, so part of my play, folks. I think that if we can create spaces for those young people to feel like, oh, I can come in here and I won't be judged for, you know, having an ankle bracelet on, or I won't be judged for the fact that I just got out of juvie or something like that. Like, this is somewhere where, like, and not only not be judged for it. Yeah, buddy. Here we go. I know what'll help. Let me unplug that. There we go. I think we're getting better. I had some things plugged in. But yeah, no, you know, if I can go to this place and not feel like I'm gonna be looked at or looked down on, and then also like here's some place for some potential resources, then I think that the conversation about toxicity has to also be within that space. And so for us, what we like to just like, first off, like, be respectful.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a general rule. That is a top-down rule, right? Be respectful for the equipment. Be respectful of people's time. Be respectful of the people in here. Like, and so, you know, if we have people in here who identify as a certain thing and how you are talking this day, you know, it may be a safe space. And again, and this is a very I know, sensitive subject for a lot of people.
God, I missed again.
Right? We're not going to sit here and let a group of kids be derogatory towards any people group, but we're also we understand how kids talk when nobody's around, right? And so it's really like finding that sweet spot. And so what we found, you know, the program that we have right now and everything that we're doing in the city of New Orleans, we started.
And what's the name of your program and your organization?
Yeah, so the organization, so there's a lot happening. So we have a few things. So we have you know, what's called NOLA Grown. And NOLA Grown is our educational sort of community educational training, anything that kind of do like with the games industry outside of actually playing, right? That's NOLA Grown. And so as we talk about, you know, partnerships like with esports or whatever, that is through our NOLA Grown relationship. Now, when it comes to esports, we have what's called Storm Surge Gaming. And Storm Surge Gaming is very much like, you know, imagine if FaZe Clan wasn't for, instead of it being like for like rude, like college humor crowd, it's more like about community mentoring and reaching kids through gaming. And then like using the esports as like team building and recreation and doing things of that nature. And so, you know, that's sort of how we have things split up.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, the idea for both of those things was out of in 2022. We got a little bit of a grant. There was a grant given to a local YMCA, and they didn't have enough people, because there's not much as far as youth programming. They didn't have enough people in the city of New Orleans or around, or ideas even, to run community programs. And so they was like, if, you know, I had to look at that.
I braked first. I hit the brakes. It worked.
Calculated, baby. Calculated.
Yeah. Or it was an accident. Oh, and you tapped me in the butt. Perfect. You gave me a little boost to shoot it. That's the second time.
Right. You got it. You got to take the shot. So, you know, a friend of a friend was like, hey, buddy. A friend of a friend was like, hey, I know this guy. He's got this like idea for like video game recreation, because it was a summer camp. And it was like, great. And they said, hey, what do you need? I gave him a whole spec sheet. I was like, I need 10 computers. I need 10 PCs. It was very important for me to build this idea off of PCs.
Okay.
While I think now,
what community are you like? What's the
So we're
makeup of the community?
The demographic. Yeah, we're talking about young African American kids, right?
Okay. Nice.
Who don't typically see, and poor young African American kids who would never see a machine like this otherwise, right? We're just that level of exposure and just that idea of like, man, this looks expensive.
Yeah.
Somebody's investing some real money in me. I should probably behave. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because this is a real opportunity. So we wanted to make it to where it's like, yeah, you can go home and play your PlayStation, but you don't have one of these bad boys.
That's
right.
That's great.
Right. And so that
do you feel like there's a because African American community is so heavily focused on console and sports simulation and fighting game, like what are you trying to teach? Is there opportunities you're trying to provide maybe with the PCs as well, because of how systemic problems there are with collegiate esports, high school esports, in the sense of what else would we play on besides PC?
So like, it's a barrier entry, right? And so like, I think when we think about this industry historically speaking, we're talking about a group of people, African Americans, we just didn't have access to high-end PCs. Like when we're talking about the larger sort of like socioeconomics of Black people, and then again, the stigma of like, you're not about to sit here and waste time playing these video games because you're wasting time when you could either be working or learning.
Sure.
Right? Because it's like, those were your two options growing up Black. Like you either are going to be learning or working, or like learning or working, and you're learning and so you can work. You dig? All of this, what you're talking about playing games, you need to cut that out. So, when I think about some of the systemic issues within esports, I'm willing to give esports a pass, right?
Okay.
At least through one generation. Because if you're gonna build an industry, you need people with the access, right? Oh, so close. You need people with the access to the machines. And so like when the VC money comes in, who has it? Like who has the access? So like for me also, I think of so that's like the social and economic piece of this, but also like in learning, I had to understand like, having, frames win games, like understanding that concept, right? And that like, again, in 2019, kind of going back from a history standpoint, and like in 2019, when I was working then as a news journalist, from being in sports and now working as a news journalist and being able to do these reports on riots and hanging out with Rick Fox and, hanging out with the Lee Trinks of the world, like I really got a very vast, in-depth, like crash course, if you will, in this whole thing, which led me being to like, hey, if they could do this out here, this thing gonna smash when we bring it to New Orleans. Like, I just have this like extreme confidence that as soon as the esports hits New Orleans, it's like we're gonna get out of the winter. I just truly believe that New Orleans is built for this, right?
Yeah.
And so, I kind of lost track of. I'm trying to like win this game.
I hear you.
Oh yeah. I remember where I was. And so with the concept of like getting high-end PCs, I wanted to remove every single barrier possible, so that to then also remove every single excuse possible. Okay, like once we get our kids online with high-end PCs and we start to really build a community around high-end esports and competitive gaming, my belief, generally speaking, when I'm banking this all on, is that we just gonna wipe the floor with everybody. Like honestly, like that's just like, this is just not a competitor in me talking, but I genuinely believe that when New Orleans comes online, the next great esports superstars are gonna come from this city. Like, and when we talk about changing the dynamics of the industry, it's gonna happen in New Orleans, because that's just, again, this is me and just sort of like being the undeniable defender of my city. I just think it's still one of the greatest American cities. It's one of the greatest untapped cities. We're one of the most entertaining groups of people. The arts that we possess, the skill sets that we possess to do these things, we just need the opportunity. And I have a fervent belief that our young people in the city just need the opportunity. And let's be frank, the first wave of esports has mostly been young white males, right?
Yes.
The second wave of Yeah, and Asian kids, right? We're starting to see a second wave of esports. I think with games like Valorant bringing in a LGBT. We still haven't had the Black immersion, the African American immersion inside of what we're deeming as esports.
Yes.
Now, I love what we're seeing with FGC. I love what we're seeing with Capcom Cup. I love that Evo is becoming like a premier event. But I want to see a group of kids from New Orleans win the League of Legends championship
100%.
and then hit the gritty across the stage. You dig? Like, that's what I'm waiting for. And I think that once we start to see an African American adaptation into this beyond just like, oh, Drake goes on stream, but like when you get your first true crossover athlete, because that's what we're also looking at. Like, we know that like in New Orleans, we're going to produce a pro athlete every year. Every year we're going to get Justin Jefferson or whoever it is, like either LSU or New Orleans is going to produce an NFL or NBA player.
Wow.
Right now, we have NBA and NFL players who go on stream. What are we going to do when the first championship that the national championship quarterback won happened to be a Rocket League championship when he was in high school? Right? Like, he wins the high school esports league, and then he wins his high school state championship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then he winds up like, you know, all while having a game on the Fortnite marketplace that's like a top 10 game. Like, when that kid starts to be like, and I believe that kid exists in the city of New Orleans.
Yeah. Wow.
I wanted to bet on that, right? Because it's like, where else would that kid come from? Like, where else would a person with that, you know, with an insane amount of talent and giftedness, and like we've seen it throughout history, be it the Louis Armstrong, you know, and more recent history with like Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
We have so many different actors. We've got John Baptiste, you know, the birth of gospel music and rock and roll and jazz and blues, like all of that's come through the city of New Orleans. When we think about all of the cultural things like the Mardi Gras and the second lines and the jazz music and all of that, there's so much untapped potential creatively, in my opinion, for the city of New Orleans that like we're gonna breathe life into each other. I blew that.
I love that, man.
I'm sitting there going on and on.
And where are they gonna? I love it, because where are they gonna find these opportunities to be able to compete in the League of Legends World Championship if not for the access? Because there's a huge,
they don't even know it exists.
Access. Yeah,
you have an entire community region, I would say, a region and a culture of people that doesn't even know the game League of Legends even exists.
Yeah.
There's so much potential and opportunity. So while I understand, while somebody could say like, hey, we're in an esports winter, like, I don't know, like I don't mind that, because like after the esports winter has to come the esports spring, right?
Love that positivity. Yeah. Chris Turner says. Chris Turner says, "What's up?"
Oh, that's my guy. Listen, I will say this, and I'm glad we're here while everybody is listening and watching.
Okay.
I bothered Chris Turner for the good portion of a year. Okay, I bugged this brother for so long, and he was being that first version of Chris Turner that you meet, right? We all know that. We all know that guy, right? Yeah, right. So I got Administrator Chris, right? And then like he realized that like I was real, and I was like actually trying to do something, and like I honestly thank him so much for. I can't tell you how many times I hit that corner of the goal. Wow. Like probably more times than I actually score a goal. But a lot of what we're going to be doing in New Orleans is built off of what Chris and really what the folks in Baton Rouge are doing all together. Right, they've been at it for so long. Chris has been at it for so long with with Southern and the Southern Lab, and his stint with the Mavs, and like he was somebody, and even to this day is somebody who when we tell our kids and when we tell people like, hey, like we should probably do this, like look at this guy Chris Turner, you know what I'm saying? Like it's so easy. It's been such an easy sell for us for times because of people like him, and then Chris Douglas who does Xbox Game Camp, right? So like he invited me into Xbox Game Camp. That's how I wound up getting a ticket to Unreal Fest. Okay. Right. And it was a ticket to Unreal Fest that led me to seeing like the future of this whole thing, especially like with virtual production. That's sort of what led me to like bug Epic and Steve Isaacs. I basically I wouldn't leave Steve Isaacs alone and the good folks at Epic alone until they recently actually invited me to be a judge at a game jam in Greensboro. Yeah, so I'm actually going to be a guest judge at the Greensboro Epic Game Jam. Super excited about that.
Really
and again,
cool.
It's just another opportunity for me to see up close like what this is in real life. Because listen, when I walked into Riot Studios and I saw what they were doing for the NALCS, I was just like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. This is a better production than some traditional sports. Me and Rick Fox talked about that a lot. We talked about how the production for this is like better than it was when he was playing Lakers basketball, right? And I think that's what drew him to it. And like, that's kind of also what like, it drew me to it because he was so drawn to that aspect, right? And so even now, there's still so much for us to learn. There's so much for us to learn because like every day there's something new. Like there's virtual production, right? And so like I love everything that's happening with Epic. I love the deal with Disney. I think that's going to be great.
It's gonna be so
and I
awesome.
think that those of us who know, like understand, like those two companies have been working together for a while now with virtual production and the like. True story. In my role as my filmmaker for my church here, Eastside Church, our Christmas video, and it's up on my LinkedIn. We actually shot on a virtual production stage. So I actually got my hands recently during Christmas. Yeah, man. I was like, because they wanted to do this whole like winter thing and go to Montana and be cold outside. I was like, the way my whole everything is set up, I'm not really big into the cold. And we can't really, you know how much money that's gonna cost to bring all of those lights and stuff. Say, what if we did virtual production? And it's like, well, what's that? And I kind of showed it to him. I was like, we already had this whole look and feel in regards to like our Christmas graphics and all that. It's like, we can literally just build a set that looks like all of this stuff. And that's what we did. And it was amazing. And I had a great time just being in that space, right? And so, my whole career, my whole 15-year career in all of this was simply built off of a few things. The relationships that I built with people, and then the little opportunities I had to be exposed to something that I wouldn't have otherwise known, And so my whole career is built on just being some random talented kid from the city of New Orleans who got some opportunity. And I'm not that special in that regard, right? I know that. Like, I know that there's not that much more special about me than many of the people in the city, right? The difference between those people from New Orleans you hear and those you don't hear about are the ones who have the opportunity, right? And, be it the marketplace, be it, creating virtual production studios, be it doing storytelling with video games, be it, just, again, creating these opportunities for exposure. That's what we're excited about, because right now in the city of New Orleans, we like many urban cities, we have this crime problem with young people. And I want to use this as an opportunity to some of the things that we have going on in our state in regard, when it comes to, some of the legislation that's being passed. It's we have legislation being passed where kids are losing out on SNAP summer benefits. We're one of like 15 states, Louisiana is. There's all kind of things like making the age of legality when it comes to crime younger, as far as what an adult is and what an adult isn't.
Almost got right in your way.
There's concealed, there's permitless carry being, there's qualified immunity laws for police being passed, like going completely backwards.
Yes, backwards.
And so I see this as an opportunity to get our young people out the way. If we learned nothing else from the moment George Floyd was murdered to now, it's that we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional about giving resources to young people. And so I'm just proving the point that I've been saying, that, we can't police our way. I'm not anti-police, but we can't police our way out of the problems that we have, because the problems that we have nothing to do with the police. You understand? The problems that we have to do with a lack of resources and opportunity.
That's
we
don't. That's great.
We don't have a police problem. We got a school problem. We got a problem where people don't have enough food to eat. We got a problem where the rent's too high. We have a problem where there's not affordable health care and affordable housing. Those are the problems that New Orleans has. We don't have a police problem. Honestly, we don't. Like our police department is under a consent decree, meaning that like they are being watched at all times by the federal courts. And so honestly, like we have a community-based police department with the NOPD. Now, do they do things that I roll my eyes at when it comes to policing? Sure, that's where we are. We're learning and growing in that space. But top to bottom, our relationship in the community, like put it like this: you have the heads of the police department speaking out against the conceal carry law, and so are the community members. Everybody's on the same page here. We have our mayor, and it's very rare to get everyone on the same page, but you have a bunch of people who have been in contention with each other, all agreeing that this is a bad thing. And so, what we're doing right now is being supported by our local government, and give me that.
So close.
In many different ways, but like the fact that our programming, it's being supported by the community through and through.
Yeah.
And so like we have this opportunity to do something.
Yes, nice shot.
To do something that's more than marching, that's more than the protest. Even this, right? Like I'm taking some of the stuff that I'm doing as far as journalism, and I'm starting game streaming because I understand that like I have a picture with Pikachu as my AV on Twitter, and I understand people are like, man, I would never take this guy serious.
Yeah.
That's my little patented move right there. That's my little move.
That's good.
Watch this move. Watch this. Watch it. You gotta go out.
You faked it. You faked it right. I like it.
You got it right at the last. Yeah. So I want to be able to use any platform that's available, and right now streaming is the number one platform and the number one way information or whatever is being shared. So why wouldn't I try to get into these spaces to make sure that like the people in these spaces are being informed of things that are It's all good. You know what? We're coming to we're up in 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, so why not end this with a great overtime match? You know what I'm saying?
All right, I'm playing D right here. See if I can get Ariel to save us.
Here we go. Watch this. Here we go. We're gonna do it again. We got it again.
Had it. I used your move a second ago.
We got it again.
All right, that's set up for you.
It is. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
You go.
I'm playing.
All right. You go. All right. We got this. All right. I'm about to go into like super sweat mode real quick. I gotta lean forward. Y'all know what time? Oh no.
No.
Oh, we good. We can manage that. Let's go into super sweat mode because I think we have to get this done for the people. Just for the people. We got to get it for the people.
Still playing back.
All right. Yep.
There we go.
All right. Here we go. Oh, no.
Okay.
Nice one.
I set him up.
No.
I set him up. No. I perfectly set them up.
Well, here we go.
You're welcome.
Just the right amount of toxicity.
Rashid Kirk says, "Keep it up, JD, and great show." Thanks,
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, man. And I look forward to, man, this is such a great community. I love the gaming space. I love the gaming community, man. It's such a great space. And I look forward to, man, we were able to skip the line in a big way. And I think that, here's our biggest thing, and I want to leave leave with this, is like, our whole thing is like, especially when it comes to the pipeline, is something we're calling care, right? Like, how do we plan on doing everything that I just talked about? It's through care, which is cultivation, alignment, refinement, and elevation. Cultivation, we're going to be bringing these kids from outside to inside by any means necessary. Alignment, we're going to get them to understand that the skill sets that they possess are these transferable skills into this massive industry, this multi-billion-dollar industry, right? The refinement piece is that working with people in the industry, the Chris's of the world, both of my guys, right? How do we refine these skill sets so that way that we can create this amazing workforce that everybody in the industry is going to want one of these kids out of our program, and that's the elevation piece, right? That's the role that I serve as our director of elevation.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
To elevate. To elevate,
man. Yeah, we want to get these kids really, like, the idea is that they need work. Like, our community needs resources, and we don't want to do the handouts. Like, we also understand that, like, you know, we went through this whole thing with Hurricane Katrina, and we understand the concept of, like, waiting for Superman. We don't want to do that. Like, we have the ability within ourselves to get ourselves out of this position. That's New Orleans. That's who we are. That's what we're known for. And I just truly believe that, like, we have the opportunity to do that again with this industry.
Well, JD, it's been great learning from you. That's what I really wanted to do today, is really learn from you and just have people hear from you. You made it easy for me to not have to go through my list of questions, because you just covered everything excellently. But I still am going to give you the 60-second hot seat to be able to have the screen to yourself, promote websites, socials, talk about whatever you're working on, anything you want to share in 60 seconds. You have the hot seat. It's yours.
Look, what I really want to do is encourage everybody out there within this space to really be intentional about why we're in these spaces. Yes, it's fun. Yes, there's a lot of money to be made, but there's a golden opportunity that really all of us have while we're in this space to change kids' lives. We do have a situation now in New Orleans, like I think many, you know, impoverished communities, where our kids are sort of being targeted, if you will, just for being kids. Yes, do we have problems where people are doing things they shouldn't be doing? Absolutely. But I believe that we can, if we create children who are fixed now and that we can repair them now, we don't have to repair broken adults later, which is much harder. One of the things that we always say is that the kids who do not feel the warmth of the village will burn it down to do so. And I think that's what we're seeing right now in society. We have a bunch of kids burning down the village because nobody wants to reach out to them. If you're out there, I want to encourage you to keep going. If you're doing this stuff in these spaces, I see all of you. Thank you guys all for the encouragement. You're a huge role model for everything that we're getting ready to do in New Orleans. And I thank all of you for every bit of the work that you've done to bring the industry here now. That way we can offer this to our kids. So I don't know how much time I got left, but that's my spiel.
That's great, man. That was great. JD, it was great getting to know you and hang out and letting you carry me. I totally let you because I'm so good at Rocket League.
Yo, man, sign me up now. I think I might hit the Dad Rocket League league. There's a Facebook group called the Dad.
There we go.
I might make some appearances.
The Dad Rocket League. Okay, I'm down for that. I'll take some lessons.
There we go. Appreciate you, big brother.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. I'm gonna shut down the show. You can close that control center room, and hey, stay amazing, sir.
Thank you, man. Have a good one.
Too. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for coming today. I appreciate it. Man, JD's really, really cool guy. Great show. Thanks, Rugged Nerd. Thanks, James. Thank you so much for the donation as well. Man, it was fun really getting to know him because he's just so passionate. And I know Chris Turner out there, you agree. And it's fun to just have another great outspoken person in our space that is talking about gaming and esports. And especially in the African American community, we need more voices, and we need less of me, less of people like me in this space. So thank you. Next week, Wednesday at 9:30 Central, 10:30 Eastern, Renee from her game is Potions: A Curious Tale. We're gonna be playing her game that she created. It took her 10 years to create, and we're gonna be playing her game. And next Friday, we'll have Zach Teep on the show. And on the 14th, we're gonna be doing the Rave show, the Rave Esports show at West Point. Let's see, Army West Point Esports. Their actual esports facility they got built with Extron. We're going to be interviewing Victor Castor, and he's going to be showing us the amazing new esports arena that was built at Army West Point Esports. And it's just going to be amazing and fun. So thank you guys so much again. I really appreciate it. Stay amazing. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hello there, gamers and mental health enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into a groundbreaking study that explores the intersection of scholarly gaming and mental health education and how it can impact the self-esteem of adolescents. Picture this, a world where scholarly gaming isn't just about mastering technology-based career skills or dominating the world of video game business. No, it's a world where gaming becomes a gateway to improving mental health. 3 visionary educators and a school-based health intervention expert came together to create a curriculum that aligns with academic guidelines from the International Society for Technology Education. This curriculum spans 40 lessons, delivered over 14 weeks with a minimum of 120 minutes per week. But here's the twist. 83 schools were invited to participate, but they were divided into 2 groups, those with mental health moments and those without. The non-mental health moment group got the scholarly gaming curriculum alone, while the mental health moment group got an extra layer of education. Mental health moments were embedded into 27 lessons, integrating concepts from the PERMA framework and the Collaborative Academic Social and Emotional Learning Standards, otherwise known as CASEL. Now, let's meet our players. 471 participants from both groups, with almost 75% in high school, many experiencing scholarly gaming for the first time. A majority were male, and the racial diversity was broad. At the start, the average self-esteem score was 17.9, with 22.1% reporting low self-esteem. But hold on, the game's just beginning. As the study progressed, it revealed some fascinating results. While 57.7% of participants with low self-esteem at the beginning reported average self-esteem post-intervention, the mental health moments group stole the spotlight. Self-esteem scores improved by 8.3% in the mental health moments group, compared to no change in the non-mental health moments group. How's that for a power-up? Some students even shifted from abnormally low self-esteem scores to normal ranges. The message is loud and clear. Educators, healthcare providers, and adolescent advocates pay attention. Non-traditional educational instructions, like scholarly gaming, combined with mental health moments, can significantly improve students' well-being. And there you have it, a journey through the power of scholarly gaming and mental health moments. Remember, your self-esteem matters, and sometimes, all it takes is a little extra support to level up. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. Until next time, keep gaming, keep learning, and most importantly, keep believing in yourself.
It's making history at CECC. And there it is! Both platforms online and dip. We'll take it home. What a game.
Take a victory lap, take a bow, and take the headsets off and start to yell.
Life is busy. Every day we ask questions like, what's happening today? What should I wear? How am I going to fit everything in? But then there are bigger questions like, why am I here? What's my purpose? Where am I heading? Is there more to life than this? These are some of life's big questions, but there's rarely enough time to think them through. That's why Alpha exists. Alpha is a place to explore life's big questions in a safe and open environment. It's a series of sessions where anyone can share their thoughts and opinions and ask questions without feeling judged. When you come to an Alpha, you'll notice that first, there's food. Whether it's a full meal or a light snack, this is the time to get to know each other in a casual setting. Next, you'll watch an Alpha talk. The talks are created to engage and spark conversation. They explore big issues around faith from a Christian perspective. After the talk is a time for discussion. This is the most essential part of any Alpha. It allows everyone to share their own opinions on the ideas presented in the talks. It's a time for people with different thoughts, beliefs, and experiences to ask honest questions and have open conversation. Every week, there are guests coming for the first time to an Alpha in their community. Alpha is for everyone, regardless of background or beliefs. There's no pressure, no follow-up, and it's completely free to attend. Come and explore life's big questions. Find an Alpha near you today.